And we are live. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I am your host, Blake Ruffino. This is Are You Serious Sports? We hope that you're making it a good one. We know that we are as well. Man, it's been a long day. It has been a long Rudy Poo day. It doesn't matter, though. We're here. It's 7 o'clock AYS. It has struck. The beat struck, and we are here. 1 day away from finalizing, putting the absolute stamp on that LSU in 2019 was the best college football team of all time. I don't want to hear 1992 Nebraska. I don't want to hear 2020 Alabama. I don't want to hear about Rudy at Notre Dame when they played. Because quite honestly, Rudy was offsides. Okay? Tomorrow will solidify that LSU orchestrated 2019's best college football team of all time. We'll get into that. As the NFL draft is tomorrow, we will see guys, at least for tomorrow, probably two guys. One, we know in Jamar Chase, and two, possibly Terrace Marshall. I'm going to get into it tonight on where I think where the Saints, I think that they should draft some LSU guys and former LSU. There goes my pen. And former LSU guys are going to be on my big board. Took a lot of time to get this done, so we're going to do that as well. We're going to preview the LSU Arkansas series. I know I probably shot the gun too early last night, freaking out that LSU is going to have 100% capacity. Everybody's like, "What, Blake? Why were you talking about 100% capacity last night?" I don't know. Maybe I shot the gun. But we will talk some LSU baseball as well and talk some Saints draft. And as always, hashtag Ask Blake. We will put that in there. We will get to your comments as we're going to do right here. Our good friend, Miss Shannon Williams, she says, and we are live. I really think we're going to have to get some shirts made. I'm going to have to buckle down, get the website back up, and get some shirts made. Craig Schilling says, and we are live. See, I'm going to have to buckle down. Anybody that knows how to build like not a website, but maybe a small website where we can have a couple pages, maybe with some, what do you want to call it? Maybe like some just merchandise stuff that's easily accessible. Let me know. Kenny says, let's rock and roll Tigers. Chris Barnhill says, let's go. Harold Wood says, my brother, what's happening, Harold? I heard from a little buried Harold, a sponsor that we're about to talk about. I heard that maybe you talked to my guy, maybe over at GM Varno and Sons. Yeah, and we'll get into that as well. Amanda says, no mask, no restrictions, tailgating. Let's go. We're gonna talk about that. I mean, come on, guys, it's a big deal. It's a big deal. 100% capacity, no masks. Guys, it's been over a year that we've been waiting on this. Over a year. It kind of feels surreal in a sense. Like, I kind of wanted to talk about that, but I'm kind of over it, man. Like, I'm just kind of over it. So, as much as I'm so excited, like, I'm going to be going to the stadium. AYS is going to be in there. I mean, I don't have to worry about masks. I don't have to worry about restrictions. I don't have to worry about X, Y, and Z. It's a big deal. It's a very big deal. Tasha Thibodeau says, hey, Blake, let's go. What's going on, Tasha? What's happening? Let's go. Devin Staub, sorry I didn't call you back, my guy. It's just been a long day. But he says potentially 5 guys from Natty team after tomorrow night. We're going to talk about it. Richie Roche from Roche's Lawn and Landscape. What's up, Richie? Another one of our good sponsors says, what's up, Blake? What's up, Richie? And Josh says, okay, well, you know what? Hold on. Before we get to questions, before we start getting to questions, we got to pay some bills around this thing. As Charlie Viator says, it's multi-mania time. We got to pay some bills around here. Keep the lights going. We are going to be – I got some good news down the pipeline. Looks like AYS is continuously growing. It's so exciting, guys. I'm really looking forward to that. But we do got to pay the bills around here, and none better than our good friends over at GM Varno and Sons. GM Varno and Sons has faithfully been serving your Denham Springs and Baton Rouge area for over 62 years. With their highly trained technicians, there's absolutely nothing that they can't do. RV repair, big rig overhauls, motorhome chassis, routine maintenance, tire rotations, tire sales. No job is too big or too small over at GM. Give them a call today at 225-664-9992. That's 225-664-9992. Or go see him at 2500 Florida Boulevard, Denham Springs, Louisiana, and tell him Blake Ruffino at AYS sent you on by. We were just talking about him, our good friend Mr. Richie Roche, over at Roche's Lawn and Landscape, 225-937-7220. That's 225-937-7220. If you want the best looking lawn in your neighborhood, you have to call Richie Roche today. They're also doing these outdoor patio spaces that are absolutely fantastic. I'm going to have to call Richie myself after the show and get me a new patio space because of all the great work he's doing. Again, 225-937-7220. Tell him Blake Ruffino at AYS sent you on by. Okay. Let's see here. I forgot to click over the camera. There we go. Josh, first out the gate with a hashtag Ask Blake. Says hashtag Ask Blake just joined. So you having that watch party, or are you talking about the draft watch party? I've had a lot of people ask me if we're going to do a draft party. Do you guys want us to let me know in the comments? Do you want us to do a draft party? I'm actually going to put it up on a poll right now. I'm going to put it up on a poll on Twitter. So stand by. Let's do this. Let's do a Twitter poll right now. Because we did it last year, and man, it was exhausting. It was exhausting. Should we cover the draft via live stream tomorrow? Question mark. All right, let's do this poll here. Yes. No. All right. Poll is out. The poll is sent out. So we'll see. Guys, let me know if you want us to do it. We'll see. We're not going I'm going to tell you this right now. We're not going the whole 3 hours. I'm going to tell you that right now. I'm not going the whole 3 hours. I did that last year, and man, I just, when you're sitting in front of a light for 3 solid hours, man, it just gets I don't know, man. It's tough. If I had a commercial or a break or a co-host, maybe it'd be different. But when we go on these live stream, man, we don't have that. I'm just here the whole time. Country Granger says, "What's up, Blake? What's up, Country?" Blaine Smith says, "NFL Draft Eve." That's right. Josh Rogers says, "Blake, where do you think Henry To'o ends up? Columbus, maybe? I think Columbus. I don't think Alabama's got the space for him, if we're being honest. I don't think Alabama's got the space for him. Just really don't. So I think that he'll end up in Columbus." Henry says, "Yes, sir. Trey is the man from GM Varndo and Sons." He is. A couple more, and then we're going to talk about. I got to talk about the 2019 LSU offense and what tomorrow really solidifies. Tony Two Bets on Periscope says, "Hallelujah, brother, with the mask being gone." I mean, guys, it's what we've been waiting on forever. It's what we've been waiting on forever. So we'll see. Let's see. PC Gen or somebody on YouTube, PC Gen. Well, let's just call him PC Gen on YouTube. Says no. It is slow. It is slow. It is very slow. It's very tough for a host if you don't have a lot of people. We'll see. Let's see what the poll says. Let's see what the poll says tomorrow. Kenny Russell says Louisiana Saturday night. All right, well, then let's start with here. As John says, 102,000 strong. Let's go. Let's talk about this. Tomorrow is going to solidify something that I don't think people are kind of building up, right? Like they're not talking about a lot because maybe of, it doesn't sell the ratings. What happened in 2019? Alabama is coming off a good season with Nick Saban and his receding hairline. So no one really talked about it. And I don't know if anybody really locally talking about it because it's kind of just gone by the wayside. But what tomorrow is going to solidify if this happens? If Jamar Chase goes in the top 5 picks, which he probably will, or at least top 6. I mean, he's not getting out of Miami. It's just not going to happen. He's not going to get out of the top 6. If it does, it's a travesty. Some crazy shit happened. He's not getting out of the top 6 picks. So what if Terrace Marshall? You can see it in the description here. What I'm about to say. What if Terrace Marshall inks his way into the top, into the first round too? Because quite honestly, there's 3 wide receivers at 28. Now I know a lot of people saying the Saints might move up and try to draft somebody. Of course, Sean Payton wants to make things about him. Well, we're going to get a player. No, you're not. The last time you did that was when, Marcus Davenport. How'd that play out? I mean, so we'll have to wait and see. I don't think that they have the capital. That's neither here nor there. Hypothetically, let's say the Saints take Terrace Marshall at 28, or he goes to Tampa Bay at 32. Now, I don't think he'll go to Tampa Bay, but let's just say he ekes himself in to the first round. Joe Burrow, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Justin Jefferson, Terrace Marshall, Jamar Chase, Thaddeus Moss, Sadiq Charles, Lloyd Cushenberry, Ed Ingram's still on the team. I meant not Ed Ingram. Adrian McGee, Damian Lewis, Stephon Sullivan. So a starting 11 from LSU's offense in 2019. And I'm not talking about Kerry Vincent. I'm not talking about Tyler Shelvin. I know Jabril Cox wasn't on that team. I'm not talking about Jacoby Stevens. So LSU had 14 guys drafted last year. 14, which tied an NFL record. What if we look up at the end of the draft and another 7 guys just got drafted from that team? So then you look up and all of a sudden you have 21, possibly 22 guys from the 2019 roster that got drafted. So you mean to tell me that the 2019 team so far has 22 guys that has been drafted? That somewhat in and of itself should solidify how great that 2019 offense was, or really just team was. Because there's other guys that are going to get drafted high too. Guys by the name of Derek Stingley. Austin Deculus is still a guy that's still at LSU. Glenn Logan is a guy that was a starter who is probably going to play at the next level. Neil Farrell is another guy that's going to be probably more than likely playing at the next level. Damone Clark started this season at linebacker, who looks like he will be playing in the NFL. So this isn't over yet with guys that have been drafted from one team, one national title team. The number 1 overall pick, the Heisman Trophy winner, the Politnikoff Award winner. Oh, and by the way, the 3rd wide receiver that LSU had, he was a first rounder. The running back, a first rounder. It's unreal what LSU did in 2019. And I've been waiting for this day for a while. And I'm going to wait to see. And regardless if Terrace Marshall goes in the 2nd round, doesn't mean anything to me. It still will solidify it. But people better stop saying that LSU is not the best of all time ever. Blake, you're biased. Okay, sounds good. I really don't give a Rudy Poo what you think. It's just the truth. I saw this. Kyle says, can your wife co-host? No, she'll never co-host. She hates being on camera. Tasha Thibodeau says, yes to a draft party. But anyway, that's what I'm just I'm gonna shout from the rooftops. Don't give me 2020 Alabama. Don't give me 2020 Alabama, because your best wide receiver, quite honestly, that was on that team in 19 and or 20 is Devontae Smith, and a guy that hasn't played, Jamar Chase, is better than him. Hakeem says, aloha from Hawaii, Blake. Aloha, my friend. Craig Schilling says the Braves announced 100% capacity starting May the 7th, but still with mask. Louisiana greater than Georgia. Is that an Atlanta thing, though? I'm asking, Craig, is that like the city of Atlanta, though? Or is it like the whole state? Because the Baton Rouge governor didn't say anything. Alex King says Death Valley may be much crazier than normal this year. A lot of pent-up energy to get let out. Yeah, and a lot of pissed-off people. I mean, I would fully expect this weekend in the box to be insane. I fully expect it to be insane. I hope it is. I mean, you got the number one team in the country coming in. I mean, to all 109 of you that are watching this actively live, it's going to be nuts. Hell, I might show up. And if Arkansas, I got to be careful here. No, I'm not going to do that because they'll do that. I'm not going to do it. I was about to make a bet with you guys actively right here. I'm not going to do that. Charlie Vierdor said on Facebook, if you ever make AYS shirts, I want one. I love your show. Thanks, brother. Thank you. We've had a lot of people do it. We did merchandise before. It was a pain in the ass. The guy that it's a pain in the ass. You got to be careful who you trust, man. Got to be careful. Harold Wood says these sophomores, redshirt freshmen can experience the real Death Valley now. That's true. That's true. Josh says the draft. Yeah. I mean, guys, yeah. I mean, we might. I'll let you know. Let's see what Twitter's talking about. Guys, if you want us to do it, I mean, it's 29 votes in already in 8 minutes. 69% says yes. 31% says no. I mean, we might do it, man. We might do it for an hour. Guys, that's tough on me, man. It's tough on me. Last year, I'm telling you, last year took a lot out of me. Last year, we did 7.5 hours worth of streaming of a show, and I can't do that again. No, not without a break. Now, if I could orchestrate, having other people in and be able to walk off for a minute and catch my breath, I would be okay with it. But man, I just, that was tough. Shane says, Blake, that draft party poll is going to be 99% yes, if only no is by accidental clicks. Well, yeah. So 68% now, still 69%. People see what happens on Twitter is that people people are just, they make fake accounts and they want to say no because they don't want to see you succeed. Darren says, do it for just 1 hour. You're usually on, not 3. Okay, we might do that. Kenny says, hey, Blake, what college ball did you, or what did you play where did you play your college ball? Southeastern. TJ, hashtag ask Blake, what's them deposits look like now for women's basketball? I want to say it's around 2,300, 2,400 maybe, the last I heard. Stephen Miller, the Miller Action says, and we are live. And he also says that'll shut down that Miami Hurricane fans. It should. Don't come at me with your 2001 Ken Dorsey-led team when you're almost getting your ass beat by Boston College. Don't do that. Do not. Or what was it, 2000? Don't do it. It's like it. I don't want to compare this man to Jesus, but I'm about to. When you're in Sunday school and you're sitting there and your Sunday school teacher asks you a question, and you know that 9 times out of 10 the answer is going to be Jesus, but Jesus, just say Jesus if you don't know the answer, and you're probably going to be right. I feel that's that same kind of way with Joe Burrow and LSU's offense and really team in 2019. Oh, Miami had the best team ever and 1999 and 2000. And then I could just stand up and say, but Joe Burrow. I feel like that. The man in the SEC had 65 total touchdowns. Total. Oh, and by the way, the third wide receiver almost led the nation, or was leading the nation in touchdowns, receptions. Oh, by the way, his name's Terrace Marshall before he got injured. Not going to happen. You're never going to get me to say it. Jamar Jackson says, Alabama basically played a watered-down season because of coronavirus with no spring games. And a lot of players opting out of the season. Yeah, I mean, I guess you could say that. Kenny says 43. 40-3. What you talking about? Brandon Reed said 22 players in the span of 3 years is crazy. Well, it's not in 3 years, it's 2. I mean, you're having 22 players that could potentially get drafted in 2 years. I mean, you had 14 last year. So, I mean, you're close there. You're 8 more from being there. They can have 8 guys, maybe that's going to be pushing it, but still. Like, I'm going to give you very quickly. I'm just going to run it down because people don't really care. I'm going to save this. Like, in the first round for the Saints, I have Kadarius Toney, Elijah Moore, which I think Elijah Moore might go before 28, and Terrace Marshall. So it comes down to Kadarius Toney and Terrace Marshall. Okay, the second pick in the second round, the 60th pick, I got the Saints taking Jamin Davis, the linebacker from Kentucky. I think that they come back with the 80th pick and get Kelvin Joseph. I think he's underrated, former LSU player. Fourth round, Ian Book, the quarterback at Notre Dame. It seems like they're high on him. And 6th round, Elias Mitchell from ULL. So, if we're going to do a draft coverage, I'm kind of wanting to keep that a little hush-hush, but I'll give that a little bit right now. But I think that Terrace Marshall is going to be right there at 28, and it depends on, do you want Terrace Marshall or do you want Kadarius Toney? Because they need a wide receiver. I mean, look what happened when Mike Thomas went down. Hell, look what happened when Mike Thomas was there. You didn't have a second option outside of Alvin Kamara. And Alvin can't do everything for you. Craig Schilling says on YouTube, new Brave Stadium is no longer in the Atlanta city limits, and the governor hasn't commented. It's a brave decision at this point. Dang, that's crazy. See, all you Louisiana people, understand, right? Like this. Everybody coming down on us, but look at that. Josh Rogers Bucknut says, Blake, the draft is kind of boring. I'd rather you have a watch party for the Floyd Mayweather Logan Paul fight. Yeah, I'm not going to do that. Kenny Russell says, where do you go? Oh, Kenny, thank you for saying that. Twitter. You can go over to our Twitter page, AYS Sports, and vote. Yeah, the draft can be kind of long. It's just hard, man. I'm telling you. But Craig Schilling says that Stephen Miller could co-host. Stephen, I love you, brother. You don't want to do it. You're gonna be emotionally drained and physically drained. Stephen Miller says the Red Sox are winning and essentially helping the Braves, and the Braves are up 6-0. Perfect combo. Jamar Jackson says 2019 LSU beat seven top 10 teams. Yeah, they did, and nobody else is gonna reach that, and I don't think they'll reach that in a while. I mean, I think it's gonna be tough for a team to do that in and of itself in a regular season. So, look, I'm gonna just save this Saints thing just in case we do a draft. I know we're gonna talk about it tonight, but I want to wait if we're gonna do it just in case. I gave you some of the picks that we had in reference to it, but I still believe that if you're the Saints, you could easily have Kadarius Toney or Terrace Marshall there. And I'm sure there's a lot of people that would want to take Terrace Marshall above. I mean, look, big body wide receiver, a guy that can generate space, good hands, catches the ball. Really, he just really high points the ball better than a lot of people. And he went up against H.A. Terrell in that last touchdown catch in the national championship game and really mossed and roasted, a lot like Jamar Chase, a first-round pick to Atlanta from last year. So we've seen what that kid has done to what most people believe is to be really good talent. We saw him just roast individuals. Just roast individuals in 19 and in 20, man. Look, in 20, in the games that he played, he was roasting individuals. I mean, to be that big and that fast, I mean, it's something special. Kenny says the 2001 Miami Hurricanes were the greatest team until the 2019 LSU Tigers came on the scene. I don't even know if I'd go there. I don't even know if I would go there. I mean, I know that they had a lot of great players defensively, but today's game is how do I say this? It's just so different. I mean, with the RPO game and the way that things are run now, I mean, this isn't power eye, less smiles. Let's get 3 yards in a cloud of dust. I mean, defenses are different. Offenses are different. And, well, Blake, real football was played in 2001. Do you really think look, from a defensive perspective, do you not think it's harder to play now than it ever was? Well, Blake, they could hit harder. Well, shit, you can't touch individuals, and you're supposed to be able to cover somebody. If you're a corner, right? I know like Ed Reed was on that team, right? If you're a safety or you're a corner and you can't touch an individual, you can't even put a hand on him, or it's going to be flagged. Then what? Then what? We'll see. I think it's harder to play defense now than at any point in college football's history or the NFL. And I don't even think that's really debatable. I mean, look what offenses are doing now and what they allow them to do. Josh, here comes an Ohio State reference. Of course it is. That Miami team got smacked in the mouth by Ohio State, cheated. Or are we talking about a different Miami team? I mean, they were talking about what the 2000 Miami team or 1999, whatever one that was. Stephen Miller says, watch the Saints draft a very underwhelming pick with the first overall pick. Maybe. I mean, look, I think that you have 3 wide receivers that are going to be there at 28. Why? And quite honestly, why everybody's saying the Saints moving up, I don't really understand, nor do I really get. I mean, because if you have Kadarius Toney, Elijah Moore, or Terrace Marshall, and you need a wide receiver, and unless you are wanting a linebacker or a corner, but I don't think that J.C. Horn or any of those Patrick Surtain, I don't think those guys are going to be there to where you can go up and get them. Not unless you get unless for whatever reason they're in love with Mac Jones. Oh God, Mac Jones. If they're in love with that Rudy Poo, then they draft above the Patriots to take him. Mac Jones is going 3. If that dude goes 3, man. Mac Jones is not top 10 material, in my opinion. That's my opinion now. All right, let's do this. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to pay some bills around here. And then we're going to get back to some of your comments and discussing about tomorrow. We still got a lot of LSU baseball talk that we can talk about as well. But let's do this. Let's pay some bills, and we'll be right back at it. Guys, if you're thinking about buying a new home, saving money on the mortgage that you have now, or even doing that cash out refi, the timing has never been better. Get in touch with John Patton from Area Home Lending today, and if you mention this show, he will send his team out for a free appraisal. 225-663-2500. That's 225-663-2500. And tell him your good friend, Mr. Blake Ruffino at AYS, sent you on by. And the number one real estate team in the North Shore. That's team.kw.com. That's team.kw.com. If you're thinking about buying a new home, like we just talked with Mr. John Patton, go to team.kw.com and let them put you in the home that you've always been looking for. Again, that's team.kw.com. Team.kw.com. Tell them Blake Ruffino at AYS sent you on by. All right, guys, let's see. Jordan Simpson says, hashtag ask Blake, with Scott's new big-time hire for women's basketball, do you think he will be replacing Paul Maneri with another big-time hire soon? I think that he can, and I think that it looks like he might. But normally ADs don't get more than 2. So we'll see. I think that if what happens if Paul finds a way to beat Arkansas this weekend and they win this series, and quite honestly, nobody has beat this team in the SEC so far in reference to the series. And what if they find their way into Omaha? Then what do you do with everybody? Quite honestly, outside of Gavin Dugas and maybe Landon Marceau returning, then what? That is, unless he wants to step down, I don't know. Stephen Miller says, I'll ask you like I asked Charlie and Jimmy today, over under 6.5 LSU baseball wins through the next 12 games. I'm going to say over, Stephen. I'm going to go over. And you know what? I always say that and I jinx them. I'm going to say under because I want them to go over. My true heart and thought is that they go over. I mean, look, man, they've been getting hot. As the weather has gotten hotter, they have gotten hotter. I've been saying that for a week now. And I fully believe that. I think, I want to even pick LSU to win this series, not even just based on what we saw last weekend. I think that Arkansas is due to lose a series. I don't think they're as good as everybody thinks that they are. I've watched them play 4 times. Yeah, they got some good hitting. Yeah, their pitching can be really good. But I feel like that they're just one solid series away. And quite honestly, what's going to happen with these kids at LSU that's experiencing all this in the box and the emotion? I'm kind of tempted, and I'm not going to do this. So if a possum gets released, I didn't do it. But I'm kind of tempted to release a possum this weekend. You know what? I live out here in Hammond, out here in the boonies. I might go catch me a possum. I might put some sardines out there and right next to the woods, catch me an opossum, and I'm going to release that some gun and Alex Box this weekend. Who's with me? Who's with me? I'm tired of losing, man. I can't take it. Marvin Mackey says they need a DB, talking about the Saints. Well, I don't know if there's a I don't know if there's a DB that they could take at 28. Now, I know that they want to move up, but who are they going to go get? They got old boy Jeremiah Owusu from Notre Dame that they could possibly move up a couple spots to go get. I don't see him being there. I mean, but you could easily at the 60th pick get a Kelvin Joseph, or maybe even the 3rd round get a Kelvin Joseph, who I'm kind of high on. We'll see. And I like Jeremiah Owusu. If you can go get him as a linebacker, go do it. A linebacker safety combo, I'd do it. Gino Vegas says, damn, I hit the Louisiana gritty on him. Y'all like that? Hit the gritty on a mofo, even in badminton. My favorite sport next to football and track. That's pretty funny. Hit the gritty on a mofo, even in badminton. Oh, geez. Devin Stobbs says, got to sweep either Albie or Bama Slammer or Aggies. Definitely should get swept by those 3. They're good for 1 dub minimum against Arky with that offensive mojo. Well, look, what happens if they do? What happens? Y'all chill out, bro. I'm trying to hit the gritty, man. I'm trying to hit the gritty. Y'all chill out. But what happens if they do win the series? What happens if they win the Bama series and the Aggie series and the Auburn series? Then what? I think this – look, I think this team could get hot now. Jordan Simpson sent us some stars on Facebook. We really appreciate that, Jordan. David says, do you think with Hilliard outing yesterday that he could be used for Sunday versus Arkansas, or does he go or who goes Sunday? I wouldn't throw Hilliard. Let Helmers go back out there. I mean, Helmers gave you a decent start. There's no way. I thought Helmers gave you, quite honestly, a solid start. Mark says Mac Jones to the Patriots. That's fine. I mean, the only other thing, that's the only other thing I could really think about. I mean, because I just don't see, nothing really makes sense other than that. Jordan says sports writers in Shreveport are talking about Saints may take wide receiver Terrace Marshall to go with Thomas if he is still there, and he sent us 100 stars. I agree with that. I like Terrace Marshall to the Saints. I like Terrace Marshall a lot to the Saints. I think it's not a reach. I think that wide receiver. But here's another thing. Everybody's talking about DB for the Saints. They still have Lattimore. I know that they got, Janaris Jenkins, but there's this draft is deep with corners, like deep with corners. I just don't know if I feel like Terrace Marshall is higher on the board than any of those corners. Like, here's another truth. Everybody talking about JC. Let me throw this out there. Outside of injuries, okay, for Terrace Marshall. We saw him with a true freshman quarterback in Terrace Marshall and TJ Finley go out there and roast guys in South Carolina. I mean, do we not forget what happened in 19 when he was lined up against Surtain? Like, do we not forget that? Do we not forget what happened to J.C. Horn when Terrace Marshall was lined up against him? I mean, I'm just throwing that out there now. I'm throwing that up there. You know, it's funny when they're talking about J.C. Horn, they never put the Terrace Marshall stuff up. Why is that? All right, y'all sleeping on Terrace Marshall a little bit now, and you can call me a homer, but if you're going to put J.C. Horn in the top 15, then you damn sure better put Terrace Marshall in the top 15 after a roast of a player. If you're going to put Patrick Surtain in the top 15 after getting roasted, I mean, dog, roasted by Terrace Marshall and Justin Jefferson twice. Okay. I mean, I've seen burnt toast coming out of the bread. You don't put toast in the toaster. I've seen burnt bread come out as toast, not burnt more than Patrick Surtain in 2019. Y'all keep sleeping on that dude now. Tony, you don't like my gritty, bro? Bow, bow, bow. Y'all don't like my gritty? Adam Couture says, if 100% actually show up in the box this weekend, it's going to be a special weekend. Let's get it done. Gino Vegas on Facebook Live says he was face down ass up. Oh shit, that's funny. He was face down ass up. Oh shit. Shit, man. God, dog. Y'all wrong for that, bro. Jesus Christ. That might be the best comment of the year. Oh, God. Oh, shit. Oh, man. All right, it's probably not as funny as y'all might not think it's as funny as I do, but I think that shit's funny. B.I. On Facebook Live says Marshall might have been the number one wide receiver in 19 if not for the injuries. I think you could say that. I mean, hell, the truth is he led the nation in touchdown receptions through 4 weeks before he got hurt. I mean, he already was. I mean, I know that you can talk about Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson at Texas, but shit, it was Jamar Chase that led the nation. I mean, he had 3 against Georgia Southern. What was it? 1 against Texas. I mean, dude was just, he came out on fire. Alex King says, if we see a live possum in the box this weekend, it will really be a special weekend. I might release one of them son bitches. I ain't gonna lie. I might release one of them son bitches. Alex, we live in Tangipahoa Parish, brother. I mean, I might release, go get, it ain't hard. Shit, to go get a possum and go release that bitch. I hate losing. If it means for me to get banned, no, I ain't gonna do that. I ain't gonna go get banned. But if it means for me to release a possum, some LSU fans gonna do it. Watch. They gonna do it. All right, a couple more, then we're gonna get out of here. Because especially if we're doing a show tomorrow night, shit. Shane says everyone is sleeping on Tara. She is going to be the biggest surprise of the draft. I said this for a long time. I said the same shit about Jets and even argue with coaches about it. That's crazy, man. That's crazy. You know, and I agree with you. I mean, the fact that Justin Jefferson went that late to the Vikings. I mean, if you're the Philadelphia Eagles, how Rudy Poo are you? Justin Rieger. They took Justin Rieger above last year. I remember I remember when we were doing the draft last year and we had like 120 people in there, 120, 200. And Justin Jefferson got taken. Justin Rager got taken above Justin Jefferson. The way I just laughed just a minute ago, I just laughed again. Like, that's how hard I was laughing. Justin Rager, bro. Mark says, Aaron Murray says Mac Jones is the next Tony Romo. Yeah, he's the next. No, the fuck he's. Sorry. No, the frick he's not. Sorry for my language, guys. No, he ain't. No, he ain't. That man ain't Tony Romo. Tony Romo can move in the pocket. Tony Romo was athletic. Sorry for my slip up, guys. That's my fault. That's my fault. We can say it on here. It's not like we're going to lose anything. That's my fault. Devin Stobbs says, side note, how about the Lane Train dropping the axe on that O-line coach? Yeah, I saw that. And running game coordinator after their spring game. Yeah, there's something fishy about that, man. There's something fishy about that. Something really, really fishy. I don't like Mac Jones. Here's what I think. I think Mac Jones is a solid backup, man. I do. I think he's a guy that can come in and give you 4 or 5 starts if you absolutely need it. I'm not as high on Mac. And look, he can make all the throws, but shit, you can make all the throws when you got guys wide ass open. It is what it is. And, people said the same thing about Joe Burrow, but he was doing that against top 10 defense or top 10 teams in the country. Hell, Alabama didn't do that. There's not name a DB for Georgia right now that is going to be in the top 10. You can't. Top 15, you can't. They didn't play South Carolina. I don't believe they played South Carolina this past year. No, they didn't. So they didn't see J.C. Horn. Maybe Derek Stingley, but an injured Derek Stingley. And Vic says AJ or Mac Jones equals AJ McCarron. I agree with that. I completely agree with that. I think he's a solid backup. There's no way that I would take Mac Jones. Look, maybe I'm getting a little overrated or going a little overboard here. I just don't see it right now. Here's another thing, too. We haven't seen Mac Jones be under a lot of pressure. The last time that we saw Mac Jones under a crap ton of pressure in the pocket and pocket breaking down was against Auburn, and they got beat, and he threw 2 pick sixes. That was the last time that we saw him under immense pressure that he's going to see in the NFL. Because if he goes to San Francisco, maybe he'll have a decent O-line. But if he goes anywhere else without talent, now look, here's another thing that I want to say about Mac Jones that could make him good or make him a decent starting quarterback in the NFL. It's about fit, right? If he finds the right fit, is San Francisco with Shanahan the right fit for him? It could be. It could easily be the right fit for Mac Jones with Shanahan and the zone blocking schemes and the play action off the zone runs that they run. It could easily be that. But we've kind of seen that with Garoppolo a little bit. And Garoppolo's got some swag with him. He's got some serious swag with him, and he can move in the pocket. Mac Jones doesn't do that. Like, he doesn't. And I'm supposed, people are and look, who's an LSU player? Just so and I really don't care that Alabama fans are going to rip me on this. Who's a player? I'm going to be a little honest. He's Matt Flynn. He's Matt Flynn. Maybe not as big of an arm as Matt Flynn. But remember, Matt Flynn came in for Green Bay that time and set their record, but he was never a star in the NFL. Now, that might be awesome off the field issues that he suffered because he just liked, maybe he liked to party, but, he is the A.J. McCarron. He is the Matt Flynn. He is the Jarrett Lee, I feel like. I don't know. And look, I could be wrong on this. I'm just not a huge fan of him. I was a bigger fan of Tua. I was a bigger fan of, I think you got to move. It might just be me, but I don't know. I don't know. Edwin says that Flynn was a better athlete. Well, that's fine. You can give him that. That's perfectly fine with me. That's perfectly fine. I think that I do think that Mack is a lot more accurate, than Flynn was. But I'm just trying to make a comparison there. Like, there's nothing that Mac Jones does. Well, he throws with great anticipation. Well, man, he had a Heisman Trophy winner. If you're gonna do that to Joe Burrow, then what about Mac Jones? But Mac Jones never did things outside of the pocket that Joe Burrow ever did. He didn't have that Alabama moment where he kept the ball in his own read and got you a first down to win you a game. He didn't have those moments like he did against Clemson. He didn't have those moments. I mean, hell, everybody's talking about him against Ohio State, and we're sitting here. I mean, he's going up against a 4-4 defense in Ohio State. So, all right, we're gonna get out of here, guys. I'll let you know tomorrow if we're gonna do a show for the draft. I'll let you know. But until then, guys, we will see y'all soon. I hope y'all have a good night. Peace out.